US-Iran war situation, and we are analyzing the social media footages and reports which can be unverified at times, purely from educational and documentary point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. This is the open newsletter which has been written by the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, to the American people. Uh, American people to the American people, Masoud Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, has written an open letter to the people of America. And let me summarize this letter for you. And this open letter says that this is the open letter which President of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, has written an open letter to the people of America, and this letter is. Let me provide the summary of this letter. Pezeshkian strategically used President Trump's own slogan against his administration's policy. He questioned if the current war truly serves an America First agenda, highlighting that the conflict has led to gas prices exceeding $4 per gallon and massive global economic instability. And Masoud Pezeshkian further says that a major theme of the letter was that Iran harbors no enmity towards the American people, Europeans, or its neighbors. Masoud Pezeshkian emphasized that Iranian distinguished between the actions of a government and the values of the citizen, appealing for mutual understanding beyond manufactured narratives. Challenging the threats narrative, he argued that portraying Iran as a global threat is manufactured narrative designed to justify military expansion and designed to sustain the Western arms industry, designed to maintain control over strategic markets. He further asserted that Iran has not initiated a war in its modern history and has no desire for colonial-style domination. President Masoud Pezeshkian warned that US and Israeli strikes on Iran's vital energy and industrial infrastructure are war crimes that target the Iranian people directly. He stated that these actions don't show strength, but rather strategic bewilderment, and will only plant seeds of resentment for future generations. Masoud Pezeshkian concluded by inviting Americans to look at the contributions of Iranian immigrants in Western tech and academia as a proof of Iran's true character. He framed that the current moment as a crossroads where continued confrontation is more costly and later. President Masoud Pezeshkian wrote a letter to the Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian wrote a letter to the people of US. This was an open letter by the President of Iran to the people of America, an open letter policy. We are live back again. Apologies from my side. There was a technical error and a glitch. There was a technical. We are back with the live streaming. Apologies from my side. And there was a technical error due to which this live streaming went off here. There was a technical error due to which this live streaming went off here for some time, and we are back with live streaming. We are analyzing the social media footages, which can be unverified at times, purely from documentary and educational point of view, strong following the YouTube community guidelines. And I am telling you that there is breaking news that the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian, has written an open letter to the people of USA. Let me provide you the summary of the letter which is written by Masoud Pezeshkian, the president, strategically used President Trump's own slogan against his administration's policy. He questioned if the current war truly serves as an American first agenda, highlighting that the conflict has led to gas prices exceeding $4 per gallon and massive global economic instability. Masoud Pezeshkian, a major theme was that of the letter was that Iran harbors no enmity towards American people and Europeans and its neighbors. Masoud Pezeshkian emphasized that Iranians distinguish between the actions of government and the values of its citizens, appealing for mutual understanding beyond manufactured narratives. Masoud Pezeshkian further argued that portraying Iran as a global threat is manufactured narrative designed to justify the military expansion and pressure and designed to sustain the Western arms industry and designed to maintain control over strategic markets. He asserted that Iran has not initiated a war in its modern history and has no desire for colonial style domination. The president warned that US and Israeli strikes on Iran's vital energy and industrial infrastructure are war crimes that target the Iranian people directly. He stated that these actions do not show strength but rather strategic bewilderment and will only plant seeds of resentment for future generations. Pezeshkian concluded by inviting Americans to look at the contributions of Iranian immigrants in Western tech and academia as proof of Iran's true character. He framed the current moment as a crossroads where continued confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. So this was the summary which I told you of the open letter which is written to the people of America by the president of Iran, Masoud Pezeshkian. Let me take some comments now. How are you? I am fine. Please do take part in the poll as well. The question of the poll is that will Strait of Hormuz be successfully opened and forcibly reopened by US? 25% people say yes and 75% of the people say no. 12 votes we have received since. Let's move towards the major news updates from today. The first was being the letter which was written by Masoud Pezeshkian, and we provided you the summary of Masoud Pezeshkian. And the letter was written by Masoud Pezeshkian, the president of Iran, to the people of United States. It was an open letter, and we provided you the summary of that open letter. Let's discuss the major news the major news of today, the latest and big news which we have today. Let's begin with the first important and big news which we have for today is that last night the tech ultimatum, that is last night Tehran, last night the IRGC threatened 18 US tech firms, and the IRGC threatened 18 US tech firms including Google, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla. The IRGC claimed that these firms are digital combatants and they provide intelligence for the assassinations of Iranian leaders, so these are legitimate targets. So this was the big news that IRGC threatened 18 US tech firms yesterday, including Google, Apple, Meta, and Tesla, Microsoft as well. IRGC claims that these firms are digital combatants providing intelligence for the assassinations of Iranian leaders, hence these are legitimate targets and these will be targeted. How will these be targeted? The attacks can be physical by drones and missiles, and the attacks can be cyber attacks as well. And if they are cyber attacks, then obviously China and Russia will be helping Iran in these cyber attacks. Security levels at regional offices in Dubai, Riyadh, and Doha are at an all time high. Many firms have reportedly moved to remote only operations in the Gulf to protect their staff. The analysis is that this is a shift to unrestricted warfare. If Iran follows through with physical or cyber sabotages against these companies, it could trigger a global financial panic, as these firms are the backbone of the region's digital economy. So there will be global economic financial panic, and the stock markets would crash globally. Moving towards another important news, President Trump stated that the war may be over in 2 to 3 weeks, and he claimed that the new Iran regime president has reached out for a ceasefire. President Trump says that the new president and new regime wants ceasefire with with the U.S. And Tehran's response to this, that they are surrendering. President Trump said that they want Iranian new regime wants surrender, and to which Tehran responded, and the foreign minister immediately called Trump's claims as false and baseless, stating that they are exchanging messages through intermediaries but not negotiating surrender. So this was the news. Basically, what Trump is likely using psychological operations here to create internal divisions within Iran, and suggesting that the leadership is weak or ready to quit even if no formal deal is reached. So President Trump is using psychological warfare here. Psychological warfare tactics being used here by President Trump, that new regime is asking for and requesting for surrender. The foreign minister of Iran denies it vehemently. Another important news from today is that despite US claims of the war ending, the Axis of Resistance launched a massive coordinated attack today on Israel. And the Houthis in Yemen, the Hezbollah in Lebanon, IRGC from Iran claimed a joint third military operation against sensitive targets in Israel. And the impact is that a barrage of ballistic missiles triggered sirens across central Israel. Although Israel says that most of the missiles were intercepted, but the news is that few did manage to make an impact. And this shows that the triple front attack from Lebanon and Iran and Yemen proves that the Axis remains operationally linked, and they are operationally linked. And this is the video of a missile making an impact near to US troops stationed at US base in Gulf region, courtesy TRT World. Another important and big breaking news is that Kuwait's airport strike and oil crisis. An Iranian drone strike hit fuel tanks at Kuwait International Airport yesterday. While these visuals are from Isfahan, when Isfahan was bombed by US and Israeli strikes, but the news is that Iranian drone strike hit fuel tanks at Kuwait, But while there were no casualties, a massive fire disrupted regional travel. With the Strait of Hormuz still closed, the war in its 34th day, oil has reached $118 per barrel. Pakistan and other regional countries are now feeling the shock. Uh, India as well, Egypt as well, in which lockdown strategies are now under considerations. And the last but not the important news from today is that United Kingdom is hosting a virtual meeting of 35 countries, including US, specifically to discuss forcibly reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. So UK is hosting a virtual meeting of 35 countries to discuss forcibly reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. The meeting follows reports that the UAE is preparing to assist the US in clearing operation of the strait. Also, Pakistan and China 5-point peace plan remains the only diplomatic way on the table. Analysts in Islamabad say that it is pivotal but warn that its success depends entirely on whether the US and Iran are willing to stop their maximum pressure tactics before the 6th of April. The deadline which President Trump gave, that if the ceasefire doesn't happen by 6th of April, then US would be bombing Iran and bombing the nuclear sites and energy sites and gas sites as well. So this was the summary from today, that the most important news from today. Let me summarize. First is the tech ultimatum which Iran gave, that they would be bombing now 18 countries because they were providing the intel to the US and Israel for the killing of Iranian leadership. Also, Trump deadline that in war would be over in 2 to 3 weeks. And it is probably a tactic to force an internal Iranian collapse. Strait of Hormuz is closed. The oil has reached $118 per barrel. UK and US are meeting to discuss forceful opening of the Strait of Hormuz. It was a joint strike by Hezbollah and Houthis and IRGC on Israel, which suggests that Iran's proxies are coordinating with each other and are still fully functional. And the peace plan which is pending, that Pakistan and China are pushing for a ceasefire before 6th April. And if ceasefire happens, good, and if it doesn't happen, the war would escalate to a whole new level, as Trump has already threatened that he would be bombing the Iranian military, Iranian oil facilities and Kurg Island, and also he would be bombing, the US would be bombing the oil and gas facilities of and nuclear power plants of Iran. Do take part in the poll. Will Strait of Hormuz be successfully opened by force by US? We have received 68 votes. 9% of people say that yes, and 71% of the people say no up till now. Meanwhile, let's read the comments. There is a comment that meanwhile the Epstein ballroom is what Trump's talk about. Let's discuss some more news. Let's discuss the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, and the war is in its 34th day, and the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. The oil has reached $118 per barrel. Oil has reached $118 per barrel, and the strait is still closed. UK has called the meeting and to discuss. UK has called the meeting to discuss with the 25 to 30 more countries to discuss the opening of the Strait of Hormuz by 6th of by 6th of April, and if this doesn't happen, UK and US will be bombing. US and Israel will be bombing major facilities, nuclear and oil and energy facilities of Iran. Let's discuss what are the 5 points of peace plan by Pakistan and China. Pakistan, China, Turkey, and Egypt are playing their role for successful ceasefire and negotiations between US and Iran, and they have laid out a five-plan agenda for the successful ceasefire. And the plan is the first point of that plan is that immediate cessation of hostilities. The plan calls for immediate ceasefire and the utmost efforts to prevent the conflict from spreading further into the region. It specifically demands the humanitarian assistance be allowed into all war affected areas immediately. This is the first point of the plan, which has been laid down by Pakistan, Pakistan and China, and they have laid down 5 points so that a ceasefire agreement should be reached. And the second point is protection of non-military targets. This point is a direct response to recent strikes on Israeli industrial. It calls for all parties to strictly adhere to international humanitarian law and stop attacking critical infrastructures. So, to stop targeting critical infrastructures. Second point focuses on to stop targeting critical infrastructures from both sides. And the specific targets mentioned that these shouldn't be targeted are energy facilities, the desalination plants, power grids, and peaceful nuclear infrastructure, such as nuclear peaceful power plants. These shouldn't be targeted. Also, the third point says that the initiative emphasizes that dialogue and diplomacy are the only viable options. It calls for the strict launch of negotiations where all parties commit to a peaceful resolution. Crucially, it asks all sides to refrain from the use or the threat of force while these talks are ongoing. The point number 4 is the most urgent point for the global economy, and this calls for the protection of ships and crew members currently stranded in the Strait of Hormuz, the restoration of normal passage for civilian and commercial vessels as soon as possible to stabilize global energy and food supply chains. This was the point number 4, which was laid down by Pakistan and China for negotiations. And last but not the least, the fifth important point. The final point demands that the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and national independence of Iran and all Gulf states be safeguarded. It calls for true multilateralism and strengthening the role of United Nations to establish a comprehensive, lasting peace framework based on the UN Charter. So this was the summary which we provided you. That the 5 points peace plan by Pakistan and China. We have provided you the summary of 5 points peace plan by Pakistan and China, which would be used for negotiations and also for negotiations and so that the ceasefire agreement could be reached. We are back with the live streaming. Apologies from my side. We are back with the live streaming. Apologies from my side. There was a technical error, an internet slowdown. Internet slowed down, and due to which the live streaming went off here. There was a technical error, and now we are back again with the live streaming. And we are analyzing the social media footages, which can be unverified at times, purely from educational and documentary point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. So I was telling you the important news that NATO countries have refused to help US, and six of the major NATO countries have refused to help US in this war. Among them includes Poland, which have refused to provide the batteries, the Patriot batteries, and Poland is a major NATO ally, and they have refused to provide U.S. And the Patriot batteries despite U.S.'s request. Poland has refused to provide the Patriot batteries, and Poland has said that its refusal is based on national survival. It currently only has two operational batteries and argues that NATO's eastern flank, bordering Russia and Belarus, cannot be left undefended while global interceptor stocks are already low. Spain is another important country. Spain is another important NATO country, and Spain has taken the firmest stance against the conflict. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez barred the US from using the naval bases and the air bases for any strikes or logistics related to Iran. This is another agency visuals from courtesy Anadolu agency. A massive explosion reportedly rocked IRGC military base in Isfahan. IRGC missile base bombed in Isfahan. The visuals which we are showing you are courtesy Anadolu agency. Massive explosions rocks Isfahan, IRGC's missile facilities. And with that, let's move to the topic which we were telling you, that Spain, a major NATO ally, has refused to provide naval and air bases to US. And Spain has also, as of yesterday, Spain officially banned US warplanes, bombers and tankers from entering Spanish airspace if they are part of Iranian campaign. Spain has labeled the operation illegal and unjust, and is one of the few Western countries whose commercial ships are still allowed safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz by Tehran. Italy is another country. Italy says that Italian defense minister confirmed that US bombers were denied landing rights at Sigonella base. The Italian government stated that the authorization was withheld because the mission did not align with the Italian national interests and international mandates. France, another important NATO ally of US. France's position is more strategic ambiguity. President Trump recently accused Paris of being quote-unquote unhelpful. President Trump said that France has been very unhelpful to them, and France has reportedly restricted or delayed the permissions to US aircraft carrying military supplies to Israel to fly over French territory. President Macron has emphasized that Europe must maintain its strategic autonomy and avoid being dragged into a cycle of escalation that destroys the global energy market. Also, United Kingdom, even the UK, which is usually the closest US ally and staunchest military partner, has shown reluctance. President Trump publicly criticized UK yesterday for refusing to get involved in direct strikes on Iran. UK provides intelligence support, but it has reportedly declined to commit its own carrier strike group or major Royal Air Force assets to offensive strikes, focusing instead of defensive maritime security. Turkey, a NATO member, Turkey has taken a neutral hostile stance towards US. Turkey has restricted the use of a base for offensive strikes against Iran. President Erdogan has condemned the strikes as a threat to regional peace and has been working with Pakistan and Saudi Arabia on a separate mediation track that excludes Washington. So this is basically the news that Six of the major NATO allies, big countries, have refused to help US and in this war. And Poland, with the summary, let me tell you the summary of these. Then Poland refused to give their Patriot batteries, their interceptor missiles, to US. Spain said that forces US planes to take. Spain has banned airspace and naval space for US, and which forces US planes to take longer, more expensive flight paths. Italy denied landing rights, disrupting the primary logistics bridge to the Middle East. France restricted overflights of military cargo, slows the resupply of munitions to Israel. Turkey limited base usage and public condemnation, and which limits ability to strike from north. So these are major NATO allies which have refused to help Trump and US in this war. And Poland have denied the batteries, and US demanded the batteries to be deployed in Middle East, which means that US and Israel are kind of running low on the interceptor missiles. So that's why they had to ask Poland, but Poland flatly refused to provide US the Patriot batteries and missiles, interceptor missiles. Now let's move towards another interesting topic, and if by 6th of April, Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz. If by 6th of April the Iran doesn't open the Strait of Hormuz, then what will happen? So then US has already said that they would be possibly launching the ground invasion of Iran, whether limited or full scale. And we will be discussing in detail whether it is possible for US to launch ground invasion of Iran, whether full scale or limited. And before moving to that topic, let's read some of the comments of you people, and let's answer the questions if we have some questions. Suma Capi says, good work, thank you. We have no questions from you up till now, and our poll was we have received 166 votes. Will Strait of Hormuz be successfully opened forcibly by US? 34% of people say yes, and 66% of the people say no. And it's been 34 days that the Strait of Hormuz is still closed by Iran, and the US has failed to open this strait. They told they'll draw all force in 1 or 2 weeks, and this was another comment. And the visuals which we are showing you are the visuals from today. These visuals from today, when IRGC military facilities, missile storage sites was targeted by US and Israel bombing in Isfahan. Fortune Makhubela, is this video live? The streaming is live, and the footage is from today, when the latest visual, courtesy Anadolu Agency, when US and Israel bombed the IRGC facilities missile facilities in Isfahan, courtesy Anadolu Agency. Now let's move to the topic that whether ground invasion is Sachin Abdullah, this is from Isfahan. This is from Isfahan. Now discuss. Let's discuss: is ground invasion possible? Will US do the ground invasion of Iran. So let's discuss that topic, and I want your comments as well on this. A full-scale occupation, Iraq and Afghanistan style, is considered militarily impossible with current force levels, but limited ground operation is increasingly possible. I am reading your comments also along with showing you the visuals and providing my analysis. Does IRGC have attacked with missiles in the American companies such as Meta, Google, and Amazon? Om Shiv Parbati. The ultimatum was of today and it has ended. No attacks reported yet. But the ultimatum has ended now, and you can expect attacks. And if attacks do happen, we will be sharing you at those updates. And up till now, no attacks have happened. The the ultimatum has just ended, and attacks can be physical, and there can be by drones and missiles, and attacks can be by cyber attacks as well. If cyber attacks happen, you can clearly assume that China and Russia might be helping Iran in that. I hope I have answered your question, Om Shiv Property. And Faisal Ibrahim, please, where is that place? 2 to 3 visuals have passed, and if you are talking about these visuals which I am running now, these visuals are from Isfahan, Iran, and these are the latest visuals when IRGC missile sites, storage sites were being bombed by Israel and US. Okay, so this video is from Iran. Fortunate Makubela, yes, this is from Iran, Isfahan. I was discussing about is possible ground invasion is ground invasion of Iran possible? So a full-scale occupation like Iraq or that of Afghanistan is militarily impossible with current force levels, but a limited ground operation is possible. And the arrival of the USS Tripoli with 2,500 Marines and elements of 82nd Airborne Division in the region suggests that there is preparation for rapid entry missions rather than long-term holding, and also that the coastal seizure plans are there, and capturing strategic islands or coastal strips near the Strait of Hormuz to forcibly open the shipping lanes. This can be the plan, that capturing strategic islands by US or coastal strips near the Strait of Hormuz to forcibly reopen the shipping lanes. Also, in and out missions to destroy specific underground missile sites or nuclear labs that airstrikes cannot reach. This can also be a possible scenario, and another possible scenario can be that establishing small security pockets in western Iran to protect oil infrastructure. So these can be the reasons. And also there is hardship which US would be facing, and these hardships are that Iranian parliament speaker has already said that any invasion of Iran will be targeted with overwhelming fires, meaning that thousands of artillery and anti-tank missiles and swarm suicidal drones would be used to target American troops. And the geographic nightmare can be for US. Unlike the flat deserts of Iraq, Iran is a fortress of rugged mountains, and US armor and supply lines would be sitting ducks in narrow mountain passes. Iran has threatened that a ground invasion would trigger the seizure of the UAE and Bahrain coastlines and the activation of global sleeper cells by Iran. And also, analysts warn that even a limited raid could result in hundreds of US casualties in the first 48 hours due to Iran's dense layered coastal defenses. Also, let's discuss whether this ground invasion can be successful and sustainable. Military experts, including the retired Navy Captain Lance Gordon, argued that ground presence is unsustainable for several reasons, and among these reasons are with U.S. Defense budget already eclipsing $1 trillion in 2026, a land war would create a supply shock that would outstrip the 1970s oil crisis. And also that public support for another Middle Eastern war, land war, is at an all-time low in America. Images of flag-draped coffins returning from Iran would likely trigger a massive domestic unrest in US. History has shown us that limited raids often turn into accidental occupations, full-scale occupations, without a pre-planned government to take over, and with the Iranian public unlikely to accept a US-imposed administration. US troops would be stuck in a forever war against highly motivated local insurgency. So this was my take on if ground invasion would be possible or not. Let's discuss some more news. So let's read your comments. I am in South Africa, and right now there is time. And in Iran, what time is it now, and what's happening now? I told you that 2 to 3 are more important news. 2 to 3 important news are that first, the ultimatum has ended to those tech giants, and we can see attacks on tech giants coming, and most likely cyber attacks can be coming. And also, latest visuals were bombing in Isfahan, which I showed you earlier. So this is happening in Iran, but I am not in Iran. And but I am just analyzing these visuals. I am not in Iran. They will sing the national anthem and pledge their allegiance in Tehran. I was reading your comments, and let's see how many votes we have received. Will Strait of Hormuz be successfully opened forcibly by US? 202 votes we have received up till now, and 33% of people think yes, the Strait of Hormuz will be forcibly opened by US, and 67% of the people say no. So with this, it's time for us to wrap this transmission up, and thank you for joining us. We will provide you more news once we have more news. We'll provide you with updates as well, and so time for us to take a break, and we will be sharing more news once we have more news for you. And do also subscribe the channel, and do like the video as well. Do subscribe the channel and like the video as well. And this is it for now. Take care of yourselves. Thank you.